Royal family enthusiasts may know that the former Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney, passed away last month at the age of 88. His state funeral takes place this weekend in Ottawa and everything is all lined up. Yet Meghan Markle, for one, had wanted to go to the funeral, but was refused, according to insiders close to Brian Mulroney's daughter-in-law Jessica Mulroney. According to them, Meghan had tried to secure a slot at the funeral via Jessica, but was met with a flat-out refusal. They say she told her, in no uncertain terms, that it would not be wanted or appropriate if she showed up. While representatives for either Jessica or Meghan have yet to confirm their relationship, we're told that's how it went down. As for why Meghan wanted to go, we're told it was another attempt at getting in good with Canadians after uprooting from the UK with Prince Harry, whom she was close with for years before she married into the royal family. She thought it could pander to the people and be a way of mending fences from last year. While that could be true with some folks, it seems Jessica is saying it ain't happening. As per the informants, reporting is that Mrs. Mulroney mentioned to Meghan Markle that, while Brian Mulroney was very keen on her, this was not the time to emphasize that the funeral was a time for the family to have their private moments of sadness, not for Meghan to use for public relations. Mrs. Mulroney is said to have also spoken of the continued unease at the massive allegations made by Meghan and Harry a year back in an infamous interview with Oprah Winfrey in which they accused unnamed members of the firm of criticism with racist undertones. The earth rattled under the shock waves and the royal family was plunged into extreme anguish. Mrs. Mulroney was said to believe claims of this magnitude had no part at all in an August family occasion like Brian Mulroney's funeral, at which the arrival of Meghan could distract attention from the celebrating of Mulroney's achievements and legacy. They really thought Meghan should leave out it, rather than have the poor taste that should take advantage of the funeral to rehabilitate her image. Meghan wasn't just heartbroken at Mrs. Mulroney's refusal but virtually in pieces. Meghan was very emotional, tearfully on the phone to Jessica begging her to change her mind. The counterintuitive insight into this power struggle that has emerged? The publication contends that Jessica's pleas fell on deaf ears, and The Sun implies her tone grew increasingly terse, writing, Jessica told Meghan that the funeral was a family affair and therefore it would not be appropriate for Ms. Markle to attend. When Meghan reportedly wouldn't let the issue drop, Jessica finally snapped, refusing to be diplomatic and instructing Meghan in no uncertain terms that she was not to show up, snapping that she would have her blocked if she tried to go, and the two's once warm relationship immediately went on the rocks. While it's surely a complicated, nuanced relationship and Meghan is likely hurting over the betrayal, likely feeling Jessica should have showed some loyalty, Jessica is correct that Brian Mulroney deserves to be remembered by his family away from the prying eye of the paparazzi. Rest in peace. And yet, by insisting on her attendance, Meghan also prompts consideration of her judgment in terms of appropriate boundaries. The funeral's first purpose was to recognize Brian Mulroney and to offer comfort to his grieving family, not to provide Meghan with another vehicle to raise her public profile. It may be time for Meghan to realize that not every occasion is suited to personal promotion on her part. The situation reflects a deeply uncomfortable and regrettable current between Meghan and Jessica, who were once exceedingly close. Jessica choosing to protect her family from potential public curiosity and further inspection on such a somber day may be understandable, but there's no doubt that it leaves Meghan feeling excluded after her impassioned plea to her one-time close friend. Whether their friendship can stand such a public disagreement remains to be seen. The breach of trust certainly seems stark, but it's another time to reflect on Brian Mulroney, who served as Canada's 18th Prime Minister from September 1984 to June 1993. Mulroney served one of the longest continuous spans in Canadian political history, and was marked by some pivotal accomplishments. Among them stands out his economic leadership, which helped to shape the fate of Canada's economy, increased Canada's economic profile and its influence with the signature of the Canada-US Free Trade Agreement. Mulroney strengthened his ties with then U.S. Presidents Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush that saw Canada move from the role of neighbor to economic partner to principal economic ally to the U.S., further underlining Mulroney's lasting influence on international relations and economic